CRN, the Cable Radio Network, presents this program for its entertainment value only as a service to our listeners. CRN does not endorse or object to any topics or views discussed in the program.
It's funky. It's funky. It's funky. Well, funky, funky, funky is a word to describe me. Music so hard you thought I was Quincy Jones. With the hip hop, bringing the funky beats back from the blocks. You know my style, it's not too lazy. You think I'm funny, you even call me crazy. Go ahead and laugh, it really doesn't faze me. I bust a rhyme, why? Just to amaze me. I know you're wondering who I am. I ain't Joe and I sure ain't Uncle Sam. I'm a body slamming, booty jamming, super flexing, mic flexing, drop kicking, name checking. Ooh, F-O-N-K-Y.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and fans, it's time to get geared up and step into the ring for Squared Circle, the interactive talk of professional wrestling, the old and new style. And now, here's your host, the Shadoweman.
Am I on? Oh, okay. Squared Circle to talk the lights off. The talk on professional wrestling coming to you live nationwide on the Cable Radio Network. Can you give me a little bit more juice? 1-800-336-2225, and locally in Southern California, it's 818-353-1276. This is the talk on professional wrestling. I am your host, the Shadow Man. I barely. And we're going to talk about some professional wrestling tonight. We got a lot of things to cover tonight. We got a lot of fat issues. We even got a guest on tonight. Tonight's guest will be Mr. Jeff Katz from World Championship Wrestling. Yes, I did say Mr. Jeff Katz from World Championship Wrestling. We'll be talking about some WCW news tonight, and we'll be talking all kinds of stuff tonight. A lot of hot news floating around in the world of professional wrestling, and the Shadow Line is the fountain of information. I'm here to tell you. We'll be talking about that a little bit later, talking about some issues, some binding issues. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get into a little spiel called the monologue, and this spiel here is something that has to do with some things that's happened in the past weekend in the world of professional wrestling. Teachers, students, the new generation, wrestling fans. The question right here remains. Wrestling fans, teachers, students, the new generation. It seems that professional wrestling has grown to a different level. When we're talking about evolving in professional wrestling, we're talking about wrestling fans evolving as fans. We talk about professional wrestlers evolving with their craft. And the question is, where has it gone? Where has it come to? And we'll be covering that on the year-end show. Where's wrestling at and where's it gone? But right now, there's an issue at hand that has to be discussed. And this might be a subject that you, the wrestling fans, will want to talk about tonight. A wrestler that learns the old school way of professional wrestling has a respect for professional wrestling, has earned and learned how to present yourself in a professional manner. A lot of professional wrestlers have forgotten that. A lot of professional wrestlers have forgotten where professional wrestling has come from. This is a thing that is really growing to be a big problem. You see, in the world of professional wrestling, there's no resumes, there's no references or anything like that. What you do is you work hard and get a reputation. You get a good reputation, you get work. And that is the key to being successful in professional wrestling. Now, some wrestlers have come to a point in their life, in their career, where they decide to throw the rule book out the window and do whatever they feel like. Too much exposure to the business has transpired in the last few years of professional wrestling. Whether it's the newsletters, whether it's the hotlines, whether it is the wrestlers themselves. And that's the main point. The factor is the wrestlers exposing too much of the business. Those of you out there that are hardcore wrestling fan may know what I'm talking about. Those of you that are new wrestling fans or call yourselves hardcore wrestling fans don't know what I'm talking about. But the point is that there has been too much exposure of professional wrestling, exposing the business per se. Now, eventually, one of these days, we'll have Mondo Guerrero on, and he can teach you, the wrestling fans, and the wrestlers that tune in, about respect to the business. And this is the key. You're probably still wondering, what am I talking about? When a wrestler gets in the ring, he has to present himself as a living motto of the word professional wrestling. Professional meaning present yourself in a professional manner, and wrestling means put on one of the greatest events, matches that you have ever had, with a story in your match. Running around doing flips, jumping and jiving and dumping and diving and all that stuff, that is not just a wrestling match, but being able to have full control over your audience and tell a story in your match, that is the key to a good professional wrestling match. One person in mind, Steve Austin. Other person in mind, Bret Hart. Their match at Survivor Series was a professional wrestling match because it told a story. We'll get into detail about that as well later. But I want you wrestling fans to understand. Squared Circle, 2-year anniversary. Last week was Shadow's 2nd-year anniversary with CRN. This week is Squared Circle 2nd-year anniversary with the cable radio network, 10 million homes across the country. This is the key. Squared Circle is all about building your knowledge of professional wrestling, giving you, the wrestling fans, understanding of professional wrestling, and hoping that you will respect wrestling more than you did yesterday. That is the key to Squared Circle. And being interactive with you fans, giving you an outlet to talk about professional wrestling, the things that you like, the things that you dislike, the things you would like to see, the things you would not like to see anymore. This is your outlet. This is your place. This is your home, Squared Circle. And we talk about wrestling because we love wrestling. You're listening to Squared Circle because you love professional wrestling. And I'm doing this show because I have a big love, a great love, a humongous love, and agape love for professional wrestling. That is the tag. That is the shoot job for the night. I hope you understand. Some of you will never even understand what I just said. Some of you do understand. This is the time now where the new generation has to learn respect for professional wrestling. And in the everyday life, we look at the things that's going on in this world and we say, what is really going on? I look at the things that's going on in professional wrestling and I say, what is really going on? I have to throw my spiel out there because there's things that I've heard over the week and there's things that I've seen over the week that really disappoint me. And it's time for wrestlers to be professionals in the ring, on camera, because you represent wrestling. That is the bottom line. Okay, now on to some news, because I know that's what you guys are really here for, news. Well, there's been talk about Kimono Wanalea and Hack Myers coming into World Championship Wrestling next year. We'll be finding out, or trying to find out about that with Mr. Jeff Katz on tonight. There's been talk about Randy Savage, whether he's going to the World Wrestling Federation or whether he's going to stay with World Championship Wrestling. Well, one key to that is when you start seeing Macho Man Slim Jim commercials, whether it's on WCW TV or WWF TV, that should be an answer for you. The U.S. title, who's your favorite? Diamond Dallas Page or Eddie Guerrero? Nation of Domination, Akeem Muhammad, the big black dog. That's who it is. Akeem Muhammad is the big black dog who wrestled in USWA a while back. Now back in USWA, a part of the Nation of Domination. So he will probably be venturing into the World Wrestling Federation. USWA is like a tryout field for the wrestlers to get them in there and to see if things work. The Nation of Domination seems to be growing, and it looks like they will be expanding in the World Wrestling Federation. I just want to say this. They should stay away from the mirror of NWO. Do your own thing, do your own spiel. It seems like they're presenting themselves as a Muslim-type group. That's what it seems like the Nation of Domination is evolving into. I think it's a good thing in some instances. Just don't get too far into the whole Muslim thing, giving everybody Muslim type names. That's not a good thing because you'll get a lot of Muslims very upset and they take their religion very seriously. Mean Gene Oakland. This is what I'm talking about, professional wrestling. Here's a whole spiel. I'll get into it very briefly to the point, and we'll get into it some more on tomorrow's Shadowline. Shadowline is very good source of information. We do very hard work into making that a good fountain of information. I'll leave that alone. But the bottom line is, I do check my sources when I give out information. I found out about the NWO thing. I checked my information. Then I gave the information. Good solid sources on those takes. Find out more about that on tomorrow's Shadowline. Okay, David Sammartino talking to WCW, possibly getting a tryout. And this is an intriguing thing here. David Sammartino, Bruno Sammartino, things going on there. Bruno Sammartino, WWF wants to put him into the Hall of Fame now. David Sammartino getting a tryout with WCW. That's an interesting thing there. And WCW a while back was trying to bring Bruno Sammartino there to do some commentating and things of that nature a while, years and years ago when WCW first started up. But now it looks like David will be the second generation venturing into one of the big promotions. He was in the World Wrestling Federation a while back and had a little go at it. Wasn't too successful. Maybe now would be the time, now that they got Peter Maivia, now that they have Rocky Maivia, maybe bring Bruno in and David in and have that other second generation wrestler there as well. For the WWF, that would be a plus. Shotgun Saturday coming up next year, January 4th, supposedly the debut of Shotgun Saturday. WWF America Online had information about Shotgun Saturday coming soon, Saturdays from New York. Talk about Paul Heyman being a part of that. Talking about Vince McMahon and Todd Pettingill being the color commentators for Shotgun Saturday. If Shotgun Saturday is going to be somewhat hardcore, is Todd Pettingill the man for this particular show? Todd Pettingill is more of a goofy type, clownish figure in the World Wrestling Federation, excited type guy. For something extreme, someone like Doc Hendricks, Michael P.S. Hayes would fit the criteria for that. Vic Venom, who I see has a lot of potential. Vic Venom, who I said last week should take over Live Wire. Take Todd Pettingill, let him do the promos for the pay-per-views. Put Vic Venom in there for a little while and see what happens. I guarantee you that the ratings would probably go up in the WWF Live Wire. There's my little thoughts of advice to the World Wrestling Federation. There's a lot more advice that I do like to throw out a little later in the show. American wrestlers in All Japan right now. We seem to overlook All Japan and Japanese wrestling right now, so I just kind of wanted to touch on some wrestlers that we haven't seen in a long time and that people might be wondering where they're at or what happened to them. Remember the Patriot, the masked guy with the USA flag, with the flag-type mask, the Patriot that was tag team partners with Marcus Alexander Bagwell? Well, he's in All Japan. He's been wrestling there since he's left WCW. The Patriot is doing very well and being pretty successful there. Steve Williams is also in All Japan. Johnny Ace, Gary Albright, and Stan Hansen. Yes, Stan Hansen is still wrestling. Stan Hansen is with All Japan. Intriguing thing here is the WWF has been rumored about having discussions with All Japan. If All Japan did have a working relationship with WWF, it would mean more money for some of the other wrestlers. It would also mean that we would get to see someone like the Patriot, Steve Williams, Johnny Ace, Gary Albright, Stan Hansen, Sabu, who is also with All Japan, but not too happy from what I hear. So we would get to see these other great wrestlers come into the WWF. That is what the World Wrestling Federation needs. As I stated before, if Raw wants to be successful, bring ECW into it. But looks like ECW is moving into the Shotgun Saturday. We have a lot more things to talk about, a lot more things to cover tonight, and those are the subjects. Pick one, have a good shoot shot, good take, new format, sticking with it. 60 seconds, give your shoot shot. Step up to the plate, give your shoot shot, and you're out. 60 seconds. We're going to flow and go with it. We got Jeff Katz from the World Championship Wrestling coming up. So this is going to be a fat, funky show for 1996, busting it out. So let's do the thing that you do, we do. Let's take that break.
This is CRN, the Cable Radio Network.
Shadow line, 1-900-726-0600. That's the Shadow line, 99 cents per minute. Children under 18, get your parents' permission before calling. Maximum time, 4 minutes. 2 minutes of the Shadow's message, and you can leave the Shadow a message up to 2 minutes. Get solid information on professional wrestling. Solid source of information. Stuff that you can't find on the internet or the sheets. Get the information from the Shadow, 1-900-726-0600. Call the Shadow, get the info.
What lower round draft pick just might stun the NBA by becoming his team's leading rebounder this year? The Sporting News knows. Do you? What hot goalie will dominate NHL offenses to power his team to a great season? The Sporting News knows. Do you? What surprising rookie sensation could send his team soaring into the Super Bowl? The Sporting News knows, and you can too when you call now to claim your no-cost 4-issue Sporting News mini subscription. Plus, reserve these great sports binoculars free. When it comes to the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, nobody keeps you in the know quite like the Sporting News. What GM's blockbuster trades will turn his pretenders into pennant contenders next season? The Sporting News knows, and now you will too. Call now for your no-cost 4-issue Sporting News mini subscription. If you like it, get 24 more issues, 28 in all, for 4 easy payments of just $4.99. Plus, get these great binoculars free with your paid subscription. Call now.
Order your Sporting News now at 1-800-664-4411. That's 1-800-664-4411. Call now, 800-664-4411.
Squared Circle to talk on professional wrestling, coming to you live nationwide on the Cable Radio Network. The numbers are 1-800-336-2225, and locally in Southern California, it's 818-353-1276. I wanted to take this opportunity to apologize for anyone that was offended last week on last week's show by some of the guests that were on. Everybody has their own opinions about things. No one, two people have the same opinions. So my apologies to anyone that was offended. Deborah, I believe it was. If she was offended in any way, I do once again apologize for anything that was said that offended her or anyone else out there. And that's that. Okay, this is the Talk on Professional Wrestling, and I am your host, Shadow, and we're going to get right into things and get to some of the calls because we got coming up Jeff Katz from WCW, and I thank my man, I can't remember his name, from Simi Valley that did hook the Shadow up with Jeff in Simi Valleys. And also, I was on America Online on Wednesday and Thursday. It was an interesting thing there. I got into the WWF chat room, and it was unbelievable how many people knew who the Shadow was. It was a cool thing, a beautiful thing. And for some odd reason, the WWF chat room was down on Thursday. But I did speak with my man Bo from my man Bo, and Bo hooked that up. So I appreciate that. So we're going to find a chat room where the Shadow can coexist with all the other rooms. I guess we stirred up a little ruckus in the WWF chat room, and maybe that was why they were down on Thursday. But Shadows just does stir up a little bit of controversy from here and there from time to time. But we'll find a chat room where the Shadow can be at and talk to you, the wrestling fans, because, I mean, it was unbelievable how many people was trying to get in contact with the Shadow and talk with the Shadow. I was getting message after message after message. It was beautiful, beautiful thing. Much love to the Shadow. Okay, let's get to a couple of calls, and then we'll get to my man, Jeff Katz.
Hey, Shadow.
Theft and Falls Church.
Pieces.
Pieces. Okay, Pieces. Hey, Pieces. What's happening in Falls Church, Virginia? Step up to the plate, Pieces.
Okay, I would like to congratulate you on your success for your show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
And I think for Starrcade, the best match besides Hulk Hogan versus Piper is going to be Dean Malenko versus Ultimate Dragon.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
Because that's unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dean Malenko stays on the ground, goes for any body part.
Right.
And Ultimate Dragon's usually a high flyer, and he goes for aerial moves.
Yeah, that is going to be a great match. Ultimo Dragon and Dean Malenko, two great high fly and low ground technical wrestlers. It's going to be a 4-star match in the making right there. Also, Rey Mysterio Jr. and Jushin Thunder Liger. That is going to be a match that I've been waiting to see for a long time.
Yeah, and I ordered World War III,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to pay for it. And I taped it, and I was just watching before the show. What do you think of the Chris Jericho versus Nick Patrick match?
A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. I thought that Nick Patrick showed that he had some wrestling skills, and Chris Jericho is just such a great wrestler. He's been on the show. He's been a great guest, and he's just got so much potential that it's unbelievable. One guy so nice to have so much potential. This guy's got a bright future, and I just think that Chris Jericho is just destined for greatness, destined for a title, and all that good stuff.
And plus, WWF and WCW have new figures.
Mm-hmm.
WCW has the Blue Bloods, the Giant, Sergeant Pittman, Alex Wright, and Big Bubba.
Wow.
And WWF has Owen Hart,
Mm-hmm.
Vader, Ultimate Warrior, and some other new ones. And like Shawn Michaels in red and stuff.
Cool.
But you know what I hate about the WWF?
Mm-hmm.
Is that they have too many in your houses. And this one's flat out going to suck.
Well, you said it. All right, pieces, gotta flow.
Okay.
Keep tuning in, brother. Peace. Rich in Atlanta, step up to the plate. What's up, Rich?
Hey, man, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
I missed you by about 20 minutes a few minutes ago.
That's all right.
Well, there was something I needed to clear with you, so I'll clear it with you later. But first thing, did everybody find out who the newest member of the New World Order is?
Not quite.
They don't know yet?
No.
Oh, well, they're supposed to know tomorrow, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, from what I hear, it was announced at Nitro.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, what happened at the end of the show, which I think everybody loves seeing Bischoff get the crap beat out of him. That was great.
Piper really did.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was something. Apparently at the end, you remember, who was it? Not Benoit. When Kevin Green came in at the end,
Mm-hmm.
They went off the air.
Okay.
Apparently what happened after they went off the air, you had the 4 guys standing around the ring
Uh-huh.
for the NWO.
Uh-huh.
And apparently Arn Anderson and, Steve McMichael showed up.
Uh-huh.
And they all got into it, and they beat the crap out of the NWO.
Wow.
Apparently McMichael used the briefcase on Nash.
Mm-hmm.
And being in Charlotte, that crowd apparently went crazy.
Crazy, huh?
And the interesting thing about that was, though, that they went back into the ring, and there was no showdown between McMichael and Green, which I think kind of surprised everybody.
Kind of neutral for now, huh?
Yeah, I think it was. Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Flow, real quick.
I got the dates here. March 16th this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
This coming up.
Mhm.
WCW Uncensored.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion. When you consider that the first 2 Uncensored were probably the worst 2 pay-per-views in the history of mankind, do you think they can do better this time?
Well, they got a lot of different factors this year with the NWO, and they got a lot of other great talent now. I think that there'll be gimmick matches, but I think they should be more interesting gimmick matches with the type of in the roster that they have. We could even see an NWO uncensored. Since it's uncensored, it could be the NWO pay-per-view since it's uncensored. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the first one, and I didn't know if you knew anything about the title of the NWA pay-per-view coming in January.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be called Sold Out. They're spelling it SOULED.
Wow.
I didn't know if anybody had any idea of what they were going to do to get that title.
Well, we'll find out.
Play it into the thing.
We'll find out. We got Jeff Katz on hold from WCW.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pass this little bit of information by you tomorrow, and then maybe we can talk about it later. But I didn't want to spring it and start any rumors.
Okay, well, call me. If I'm not in, leave me some type of info. And
the number.
Call me early.
How early?
Early.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to be work early, so.
So call me before you go to work.
You ain't going to be up that early.
That's all right. All right, brother.
Okay, we'll
Talk
see
to you
ya.
later.
Bye.
Peace. Okay, we're going to have Jeff in a minute. Let's go to 2 more calls here. U.S. man, us man from Lorton, Virginia.
Yes.
Hey, step up to the plate.
I I just want to know what you think. Is Diamond Dallas Page going to go to the WCW, NWO?
No, DDP, he's a little bit bitter about the things that's happened in the last couple of weeks, and him being one of the last people to be asked to be a part of the NWO. So I think he's going to stand his ground with WCW.
Okay, and what do you think about the BWO for the ECW?
The BWO. I haven't seen it, so I can't even give my take on it.
Week, so. I just want to let you know, I went to the Woodbridge thing you were talking about last week. It was real good.
Cool, beautiful. That's that promotion's out there in Virginia? Cool. So you like the show?
Yeah.
Good, beautiful.
And is Bret Hart going to win the title, you think?
Yeah, eventually. Eventually, I expect him to.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
All right, brother, keep tuning in.
Bye.
Peace. Okay, we getting one more, and then my man Jeff. Joey in Simi Valley, step up to the plate. Hey, Joey.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? Shadow, sorry about that. I was going to ask you if you knew about that New York Times post that NBC wanted to buy USA, and if so, they wanted to change it around to a female audience.
Yeah, I heard about that, and we got to wait and see if it does take place. It takes like a year or 2 years, a couple of years for things like that to happen and transpire. It'd be bad news for the WWF for sure if NBC did buy out USA Network. They'd have to move to E Network or something,
Mm-hmm. And about that Shotgun Saturday, I heard that it's going to be at the China Club.
Is that right?
Yeah, and when I called the place up, I first got a message and I asked the guy, who was watching. He said Vince McMahon was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him if Paul Heyman was there. He said, I have no idea who that man is. And I'm all, if I could fax you a picture of him. And when I call back now, it's a voicemail, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, do that. Find out the info. Do that detective work for me.
All right,
brother. Keep doing it.
Is Jeff Katz in there?
Yeah, he's on next.
All right, thanks.
All right, peace.
All right.
All right, and without further ado, we got the man of the hour, the man from World Championship Wrestling, the man that's doing a lot of different things for WCW, it seems, right about now. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, and we'll get into things. Mr. Jeff Katz, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Shadoweman. How you doing?
All right, sir, all right. So tell the wrestling fans, give a little take on yourself so that wrestling fans can know who you are. You're on WCW World Wide Web and all that good stuff. Tell us about you.
Yeah, I am essentially, not WCW anymore. It's a lot of internet stuff for WCW. I did their hotline for a period.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially now I am, as Eric puts it, a utility man, to put it in sports terms. Essentially anything they need me to do, I go about doing. So
that's beautiful. I've been doing that for like 10 years now.
Well, it's interesting, to say the very least.
That's cool. So you work on the web, and you do things like that. You worked on the WCW hotline for a while. What else have you done?
Well, I've done the internet play-by-play, which through the web page with Mark Madden.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, do a lot of writing and stuff for them. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's a lot of stuff planned. I mean, when Eric brought me in, that would have been in May of last year.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was essentially to use me in whatever, my talents served best. And at this point, it's spread out all over the place. I've talked with a couple guys about getting involved in the musical aspects, some, creative aspects. So it's been all over the board.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. There's a lot of people that would desire a job that you have right now. A lot of big wrestling fans that love wrestling so much and that would like to have some type of input. So it's beautiful to have you're wielding some sort of power by being able to be involved and give your input on things of professional wrestling. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, considering my age, it's sometimes that can be double-edged sword in a way, but it's an eye-opening experience. So
how old are you?
I'll be 18 on the 29th on Starrcade.
Oh, wow. Are you the kid that had this show and all this kind of stuff?
I had a show in Detroit. It wasn't just wrestling. It was all sports, and I did a little bit of wrestling. That's where I met a lot of the guys.
Oh, I heard a lot about you. There were write-ups about you. And
I was on the Today Show. I had a nice little run of publicity there.
Right, yeah, I heard a lot of. I didn't know that was you, though.
Well, now you know.
Well, that's beautiful, man. If even people been talking about you on Squared Circle that mentioned about this kid that came into WCW and is working with WCW, and Eric Bischoff sees a lot of potential in, and I never had any kind of idea that was you. Well, that's a beautiful thing, man. At a young age, you're in a good position to really work your way up to the top at WCW.
Absolutely. The only real disadvantage is the fact that a lot of my friends from school are just bugging me for merchandise, which,
I bet you get a lot of NWO questions, huh?
Oh, 8 million of them. Are you kidding me?
I'm sure. You're probably going to get a lot tonight. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, hey, that's fine. I'm part of the NWO now, so I don't mind it.
Okay, beautiful. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and then we'll go right into the calls.
That's great.
All right, hold on, Jeff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got Jeff Katz on Squared Circle, and it is your time and your second, 60 seconds, that is, to give your shoe shot and talk to Jeff Katz from WCW NWO. Let's take that break.
Where TV and radio collide.
Cable subscribers, the holidays are just around the corner, and we have a great gift idea for you here from the Cable Radio Network and the good folks at Pastime. Here's Drake to tell you more.
This is the perfect gift. It's a historical magazine or newspaper from the date or week that you were born.
Are these the actual magazines, or are these the phony ones where they put your name and headlines and all that?
It's the real thing, Mike.
So National Geographic's, Life magazines, TV Guides, Playboy magazine?
Life Post, Saturday Evening Post is an excellent seller for us. Yeah.
From the day or the week you were born?
Absolutely.
And the newspapers from the days too?
Right, and we include a certificate of authenticity.
Give the phone number nationwide for all our cable subscribers.
800-266-5668.
Give it to us again.
800-266-5668.
Call right now, cable subscribers.
800-266-5668.
Deadly, powerful, unforgiving. Now, for the first time, King World Direct and the Learning Channel bring you two of the most earth-shattering videos, Hurricane and Tornado, available only through this special television offer. You'll see the most violent natural disasters on Earth. Experience the force of nature's fury. Watch people run for their lives from the terror of the storm. These riveting programs will keep you on the edge of your seat. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call this toll-free number now to get Hurricane and Tornado for only $19.95. Order now with your credit card and you'll also receive Lightning absolutely free. That's right. All three heart-pounding programs are yours for only $19.95. So call now.
For rush delivery, get your credit card ready and call 1-800-932-1717. That's 1-800-932-1717.
Call now, 1-800-932-1717. 1-800-932-1717.
Squared Circle to talk on professional wrestling, coming to you live nationwide right here on the Cable Radio Network. The numbers are 1-800-336-2225, and locally in Southern California, it's 818-353-1276. This is the talk on professional wrestling. I am the Shadoweman, and we're going to blow it up here tonight with Jeff Katz from NWO.
Yeah, there. Come on, you got to right name there.
I got to get it right. I'm going to get it right before the night's out. Okay, we got people all over the country ready to talk, so let's jump right into it.
All right.
We got Jay in Virginia, Minnesota. Step up to the plate, Jay.
Hey, first of all, hi, Mr. Katz.
Hi, how you doing?
I don't really have a question for you. I just got to, I've been listening to your show, Shadow for since like February, and what I've noticed is like a lot of people calling and wondering how they can get in touch with the WWF and all those places like that. Well, I got the answer to everybody's problems out there.
Okay.
I have an 8-page list of over 130 different promotions from around the world, including USA, Canada, Mexico, Japan, England, WWF, WCW, ECW, Jarrett Lawler Promotions, to get it all. Now, if anybody wants this list, here's what you want to do.
Okay.
You want just to get info on how to get it. You want to send a self-addressed, stamped envelope to the wrestling list. 623 13th Street South, Virginia, Minnesota, 55792.
13th Street, Virginia, Minnesota.
That's 623 13th Street South, Virginia, Minnesota, VIRGINIA, Minnesota, 55792.
55792?
Yeah. And, I had to pay over $2,000 and train for almost 4 months to earn this list. But, I have a lot of people come up to me, knowing that I'm a wrestler now, wondering how to get it, so I figured I'd go public with it. You're not going to get this list out of a PWI or anything. It's even more rare than a Tickle Me Elmo.
Right. I tell you what, send me a list. How much is the list?
Well, I had to earn. Well, I sold a couple of them for $5 each.
Okay, tell you what, send me a list, and if I approve of the list, we'll give you a couple of promos in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make you a copy.
Okay,
I'll send it off as soon as I possibly can.
You got the P.O. box?
Oh no.
Okay, you ready?
I should get that. No, I gotta get that.
Okay, brother. The first rule in squared circle is always have a pen and paper handy. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's P.O. Box 433, Sunland, California, 91041.
9401 what?
No, 91041. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Got any other wrestling questions?
Yeah. Are you familiar with a show called Real TV?
No.
Anyway, they had a thing on there about Slammers Wrestling, Jim. I was just curious. Is that any good?
Brother, let me tell you a little bit about Slammers.
Because I know you're kind of loyal to the Hard Knocks.
Oh, let me tell you a little about Slammers, if you can allow me this time here, Jeff. I worked with Vern several years ago with Mondo Guerrero, and we were training a couple of other guys, a guy that you may have known, Ludwig Borga, the Viking dude. We worked at Vern's one time, and Vern charged an arm and a leg to work out in his gym. Now, Vern has a lot of respect in wrestling, and Vern has been a well-respected guy. He has a lot of friends in professional wrestling, but Vern Langdon, he does teach real well, but he charges a lot. And they do have wrestling in Bakersfield. And Dynamite D, who used to host right here on CRN, I took his spot. He is working with him. But far as credibility, yeah, they teach you well. He teaches you well in detail about wrestling and how to become a professional wrestler. But he charges you an arm and a leg. Bottom line, brother.
Okay.
All right, keep tuning in.
Yep,
Peace. Okay, we got Jamie in Hollywood. Step up to the plate. Jamie, you're on with Jeff Katz.
Hello?
Hey,
how you doing?
Turn your TV down, brother.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
I want to ask a question that what's going on with Shawn Michaels?
Okay.
What's he really doing? Like, do you think like he's respecting the title? Like,
well, right now Shawn Michaels is not even a WWF champion.
oh, he's not.
No.
I've been watching like for.
You got to catch up, Jamie. Shawn Michaels lost to Sid, and Shawn Michaels is not. He's trying to get the title back, and he's trying to get it back at Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
So yeah, that's what's happening with him.
Do you think he will get the title back?
Of
or you
course,
think
it's his hometown. He's going to have 100,000, 70,000, whatever they're saying, fans cheering at him and for him and all that stuff. So of course. You got any questions about WCW?
Yeah. Do you think Sting will ever come back to normal, or you think he'll stay like he's all walking around and stuff?
Jeff?
Well, at this point, from what I've been told, I know that in our upcoming video game, which is going to be coming out early next year, mid next year, the current look is in there. So I assume they're in for the long run. I know that at the moment, there's a lot of speculation. Is he with us? Is he with WCW? What's his deal? At this point, it's anyone's guess. I don't see him going back to the bleached blonde kind of, spiky haircut anytime soon. But then again, it's always a possibility.
Yep.
Okay. One more question.
Real quick.
How many guys? How many guys are you gonna bring in, Mr. Jeff Katz?
How many guys?
Jeff Katz gonna bring in?
Is the NWO bringing in, Jeff?
Oh, it's at this point, it's, we're talking. As you know, I assume you've heard the Scott Norton thing that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's that, Diamond Dallas Page we still want. I wouldn't be shocked if we got Benoit. Slowly but surely, you're going to see more and more guys joining the ranks.
Definitely. Keep tuning in, Jamie.
All right.
All right,
Good
peace.
luck, Mr. Jeff Katz.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh, sorry, cut you off too quick. Ron in Anaheim, step up to the plate, Ron.
What's up, Shadow?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, that chick that was upset last week, that sounded a lot like that Ultimate Warrior girl, man.
Tell me about it. There's this chick that calls on the show, Jeff, and she's just really into Elizabeth, the Ultimate Warrior, and she's just like a big, I don't know, man. She's like obsessed with this thing, and she calls every week and debates with me on how great the Ultimate Warrior is, and I'm trying to tell her that this is a guy that does so much damage to wrestling that is unbelievable, and we just debate it every week that she calls, man. But anyway, what's up?
Boy.
What's up, Ron?
Yeah, Jeff, Macho Man, where's he going?
At this point, that's the interesting question. Negotiations are ongoing. I know that much. There's a big rumor going around in the offices in Atlanta that he was going to be back. I guess he wants so much money to wrestle, and McMahon's already bet the farm on Brett. He's already getting 10 mortgages out on Titan Towers there. So Macho, makes enough money from Slim Jim that he could sit out for as long as he wants.
Absolutely.
You've got to know that he's invested his money well enough. Although if he decides to return to the ring, chances are it's going to be with us. People say he's going to go to ECW. He's going to be nuts to go to ECW because they're not going to give him any money. He's not. He's too old to take some of the risks that they're going to want him to take there. So I would be genuinely shocked if when he did come back to wrestling, it wasn't with us. But then again, this is the wrestling business, so who knows?
Is there anyone from WCW that's going to go to WWF or vice versa?
At the moment, I don't know. I mean, the advantage we have is that J.J. Dillon is in now, and he's got kind of an intimate knowledge of contract details and everything. Now, we can't say, tell a guy we want to negotiate with you while he's still under contract to them because that's tampering. We can get sued, more than the 10 times they've already sued us. The guys that we'd like to get in, we had a really good shot at getting Leaf Cassidy, Al Snow, who's incredibly underused, great worker, who I worked very hard to try and get him into WCW, and things just didn't click there. And if his is up soon, I know Jannetty's is up, I believe. I don't know if I would grab Jannetti, but I'd love to get Al Snow in there.
Definitely. Anything else, Ron?
I wanted to give you my 3 matches for WrestleMania.
Okay.
I got Stone Cold and Mankind in a steel cage.
Mm-hmm.
I got Bret against Shawn and Sid against The Undertaker. Those are the 3 matches I'd like to see.
Yeah, that's a good take right there, brother. They need to do something to pump things up. All right, keep tuning in.
All right, man.
Peace.
Later.
Okay. All right, one more. We got Herbie in Oceanside. Step up to the plate, Herbie.
Yo, Shadow, what's up?
Hey, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Yeah, just fine. How you doing, Herbie?
Fine, thanks. I got a question for you. Well, you were telling me about all those wrestlers in the past. Where did it happen to Jesse the Body Ventura?
He's doing. He was doing radio at the time. He was mayor
of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, I believe.
Right. Right now, you got any take on that? Where he's at?
No. Something. It's interesting. His contract at WCW really only ended not that long ago.
Wow.
He was still getting money for nothing, as they say. He, as far as I know, I believe he's off doing the radio. I don't know what he's been up to. Right. I know he's not the mayor of Brooklyn Park anymore. He didn't. I don't expect him back here anytime soon because he didn't exactly leave on the best of terms with some of management. But who knows?
What was the other question, brother?
Oh yeah, and on the wrestling, if Michaels does win the title from Sid in Royal Rumble, you think that Hitman and Shawn's gonna duke it out in WrestleMania?
That looks like the direction they're going. My belief is that Steve Austin is the one to carry the WWF into the next millennium. But WWF makes a lot of real bad moves in a lot of different ways. I really would like to see a Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin for a main event. I think that would be a better take than a Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. But with Bret coming in, it'll most likely be Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, just because of the simple fact that Shawn is the top guy and Bret Hart is the man in the WWF. So Steve Austin is going to probably be put in the back burner until after WrestleMania.
What about Brian Pillman? When's he coming?
Brian Pillman, don't expect him back till like March, April, May, somewhere around there.
Oh, I see. So what about the Intercontinental title race? You think that somebody will defeat Hunter Hearst Helmsley? You think Merrill's going to get it back, or what's going on with that?
Well, as far as the IC title, you got to say that what's his name? Hunter Hearst lost a lot of steam when Mr. Perfect did take off, and we're going to ask Jeff about that when we come back from the break. But Hunter Hearst needs a woman under his shoulder to generate some kind of heat for him, because right now he's not getting any. And Mark Merrill just never had it when he came in. For some odd reason, after he left WCW, he just nothing's clicking for him right now. So they need to put another face into that position to go for that IC title.
Yeah, it looks like it might be Sunny or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no telling. Hey, got a flow.
All right.
Keep tuning in, brother. Peace. Okay, Jeff, let's do this. I got a question about Mr. Perfect, and I got a question about some other things. So after the break, let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Hold on a sec. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the thing that you do, we do. Let's take that break. CRN. Shadow Line, 1-900-726-0600. That's the Shadow Line, 99 cents per minute. Children under 18, get your parents' permission before calling. Maximum time, 4 minutes. 2 minutes of the Shadow's message, and you can leave the Shadow a message up to 2 minutes. Get solid information on professional wrestling. Solid source of information. Stuff that you can't find on the internet or the sheets. Get the information from the Shadow, 1-900-726-0600. Call the Shadow, get the info.
Fact. One of the most accurate predictors of how your child will do in school is their reading ability. Fact. There is a way to successfully encourage your child to read more. It's Sports Illustrated for Kids. Fact. Sports Illustrated for Kids is a positive influence on the reading ability of boys and girls ages 8 to 14. Every page in every issue is written just for them. Interviews with superstars like Grant Hill and Troy Aikman. Stories about kid athletes, comics, games, and sports tips from the pros will entertain as well as educate. Endorsed by educators, Sports Illustrated for Kids will encourage them to read more. Order a full year for only $27.95 and receive 12 captivating, colorful issues for over 21% off the newsstand price. It's a small price to pay to help improve your child's reading ability, and that's a fact.
Call now 1-800-523-9339 for Sports Illustrated for Kids. That's 1-800-523-9339.
There's a cop in Las Vegas town.
Squared Circle to talk on professional wrestling, coming to you live right here on the Cable Radio Network. 1-800-336-2225, and locally in Southern California, it's 818-353-1276. And that is my man, Buffalo Jim from Las Vegas. Big time wrestling fan, big time in the wrestling business, has a lot of respect for in the wrestling world. This guy knows a lot of people in wrestling, and good friends with The Undertaker, good friends with Papa Shango, and there's an up-and-coming talent that has a lot of potential that Buffalo's been working with, and this guy name is... I forgot his name. That's a shame. His name is... I can't remember his name. That is a shame. We got Jeff Katz here live in Square Circle, and we got the wrestling fans ready and willing to talk about wrestling. But first, Mr. Perfect, what is your take? Do you think he's going to make his way to World Championship Wrestling?
Well, first of all, if you want to discuss this, you're going to have to call him Kurt Hennig because legal purposes involved here. We already got a letter about that, thanks to me. So at this point, I think it looks good. The question is, when can he start? And I believe it's in February.
Mm-hmm.
And, how are you going to use him? My understanding is that wherever he ends up, his policy is up with Lloyd's of London. He wants to wrestle.
Right.
The question is he working himself back into shape? There's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. I would not be shocked at all if he ended up in WCW.
That'd be great.
I look forward to it. I think, that'd be just an incredible acquisition for us because what it's doing essentially is taking those guys that were recognizable even to, into the 90s for the WWF when they were on television, the casual fan recognized. And that's, in this business, a lot of the business depends on the casual fan because the casual fan means, taking another mortgage out on your office building or, moving your pay-per-views to a tighter schedule.
Right, exactly.
That's key.
Johnny Psycho Payne. Have you ever heard of this guy?
What's the name? I'm sorry?
Johnny Psycho Payne.
No, I have not.
Never heard of him. Okay, that's the name. He's a guy that worked with Buffalo Jim in Las Vegas. This guy is a great talent, Bruiser Brody style wrestler, Bruiser Brody look. This is like the next Bruiser Brody. Just a name for you to remember. Another name that has not surfaced well in WCW, but is a part of the Dungeon of Doom. That is Hugh Morris. What is your take on this guy? You think he has a potential?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I talked with. That was one of the creative things we were discussing.
Mm-hmm.
Talked with Jim Hart and Terry Taylor about that in Las Vegas at Halloween Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
The key problem here is they both, next to Disco Inferno, that's the guy that they think that can really make them some money in the future.
Mm-hmm.
The problem at this point is that he's in Japan so often
Mm-hmm.
that it takes away. And anytime they're building up something, you got to go to Japan for 3 weeks.
Right.
Because Japan's not a trip you can make in a weekend,
Right, exactly.
And that has been the real stopping point in here because the guy, I think he could be, solidly the next Vader. I think he does some stuff that just puts. I mean, Vader's obviously very agile for his size,
Right.
but Morris does some stuff that's incredible.
Yeah, I've been saying, when is this guy going to get a push? Because this guy is a great talent. Same with Disco Inferno. As funky as he is, and as weird as his gimmick is,
It's just such a great gimmick.
he's so awesome. And he really impressed me with the match with Dean Malenko. Everybody said that was going to be a bad match, and it turned out to be one of the best matches.
He held his end, and that was what really cemented him in. And there are guys, that you overhear them, backstage saying, they would have no problem doing something to put him over.
Wow.
Because he could be, I don't want to draw comparisons to Honky Tonk Man simply because they're eggs and oranges.
He's far beyond better talent than Honky Tonk.
But Honky Tonk did draw.
Definitely.
For WWF. He could be that same thing, but with the work rate to match.
Now, let me ask you something. You talked about Leif Cassidy, Al Snow. This is a guy I've been talking about, man. I've been talking crazy about Al Snow because in this Leif Cassidy gimmick, and I know this is not WCW, but just as a wrestling fan, Al Snow is one of the best talents. This guy's got 14 years experience.
He's been there for a while.
And he's acting like the guy from the Hardy Boys. And now he's coming into his own, but it's like he's still under that name, Leif Cassidy, instead of Al Snow. I don't think he's ever going to be over in the WWF until they really recognize what they got.
The point was, and I guess Vince and his creative staff wanted, we need to create some guy that's kind of like dorky throwback to the 70s. So they said, hey, we'll combine David Cassidy and Leif Garrett, whatever the guy's name is.
Right.
And it just it backfired horribly. And that was Al's biggest concern with wherever he signed, because I had some talks with him before that point, and he wanted, he's very concerned about how he would have been used. And the thing with Al, like you said, he's been in this business for ages, was that for the longest time the perception was that he couldn't talk. And then when he got to Smoky Mountain and ran off just a really great streak of interviews, people started to pick up and notice things, and then it just sort of snowballed. I think the guy's a talent. I would love to have him in WCW because I think he would be the first true cruiserweight heel, which we really don't have in that division. Give it some color.
Right,
to go with the incredible athletes.
Definitely. And the cruiserweight department is just unbelievably awesome. I mean, the last two times that they tried the cruiserweight thing, it wasn't meshing. But I really believe that the cruiserweight division is the hottest thing, one of the hottest things in WCW.
Right now, and the previous two times, they were pretty much missing. They just seemed like little side projects for Brian Pillman. In this case, though, there was a genuine effort, considering the working agreements they had with other promotions, that they could do a really effective job, introduce a new style to the casual American fan, and then let it snowball from there. What they have done, and first of all, frankly, a lot of credit goes to Wade Keller for coming up with the idea of using cruiserweight instead of light heavyweight.
Right,
because light heavyweight, there's kind of a stigma. Ricky Steamboat's a great example. Using their weight system, he would have been a light heavyweight all his career, but he still won heavyweight titles.
Right.
Whereas they were stigmatizing guys like Pillman and that sort of thing. Right. Now with cruiserweight, it's more of a perception. It's like boxing. Guy can go from here to there, back and forth. And getting Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and Ray and all those doesn't hurt.
Right, that's true. Now, there's another guy that's coming in from Japan, and I'm trying to find his name, and I can't find it. But and he's going to be in WCW for a whole year. Who is
yeah. Oh, gosh.
I'm trying to find his name. I can't find it
right now. Yeah, we have Chono and Tenzan coming in. Another guy. I want them to bring in Otani very badly. Otani is fantastic. He's going to be huge. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I know exactly who you're talking about. First name I think begins with a Y.
Right. But this guy seems to be a great talent, though.
He's supposed to be, according to Mike Tenay, and Mike Tenay talks very highly of him. Mike Tenay, better than anyone I know, knows his international stuff.
Yeah.
And he says this guy's for real. So
great. That's awesome. That's definitely awesome. Okay, well, I guess at this point we get to a couple more calls because I can ask you a bunch of questions all the way to the next hour. We got Wes in Hawthorne. Step up to the plate, Wes.
Hey, Shadow.
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Now, Katz, how did you get your show?
Pardon?
Now, you had a show in, where was it?
Michigan, Detroit area.
Yeah, how did you get that show in your...
Interviewed just like everyone else. The new station was starting up. They were changing formats, and Detroit had never had sports talk before. And, God, I was 15 years old at the time and interviewed, just so happened. I guess, one of my gifts was just knowing what was marketable and when, and it just snowballed. It worked out fantastic.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Hey, what's up with Wall Street?
VK?
Yeah.
Mr. Wall Street. Who knows at this point? As far as I've been told, he's NWO. Simply because, and I think the logic there is that Ted is surrounding himself with guys he knows, guys he can trust, that sort of thing, and everyone knows their relationship back in, the other promotion, the promotion up north.
Right.
And so they're going off of that, which has been the basis for a lot of the NWO stuff, is they're going off of perception from another promotion.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. When were you planning to appear at Jeffries? Joe?
Jeffries?
Yeah. Comics?
Oh, who, me?
Yeah.
I just said I go to Jeffries like every Wednesday. Around in the afternoon, I pick up my books, and it's a large order at that. But yeah, I usually go to Jeffries Comics on Wednesdays when the books come in at around between 2 and 5 o'clock.
Is Wednesday's the shipping day for comic books?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Wednesday is the day, and then right around 2 o'clock the books are in, and it's pickup time. So Wes, look for me around there, and I'm usually there to pick up my books.
Hey, what books do you read?
I read the X books. I read some Image. I read all of Top Cow. Top Cow is probably the best studio right now in the comic book world because of the production, the color sets, the artwork, the storytelling. Everything in it is solid, and they're consistent with the $2.50 price because they give you everything that the Image started with. That Top Cow is still giving that. So yeah, Top Cow's the best.
What do you think of the crossover with Marvel?
So far it looks pretty good.
I didn't like the way they promote Legend Zero Surfer if they don't meet.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see that happen in the next issue.
Well, at least somewhere there.
Yeah. All right, brother, got to flow.
Okay.
Take care. Peace. Okay, we got Alan in Laguna Hills. Step up to the plate, Alan.
Hey, Shadow, what's up?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, I had a question. Where's Vader?
Vader is he had an injury or something in that match. Yokozuna had hurt his shoulder or something to that effect. So he'll probably be out for a couple of weeks and be at their next TV taping.
Okay, and also, Shawn Michaels' contract expires in February.
No, it doesn't.
Huh?
Who told you that?
Oh, there's some wrestling number.
Oh well, brother, they're giving out some bad info because Shawn Michaels is in for the long haul. He's
got like a 5-year deal, I thought.
There you go. He's got like 4.5 more years. He just re-signed a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay. What is it? This past Wednesday, I received my WWF magazine. It has like predictions for '97. It said Ahmed Johnson and Farouk are gonna be a tag team or something.
Anything can happen in the WWF, as they say.
So I gotta say that I'm a really big fan of the NWO.
Oh, great.
It's fine. And what is it? Although it was kind of hilarious what Roddy Piper did to Bischoff this past Monday. That was kind of funny.
Pretty wild, huh?
From talking to Eric, I didn't think he thought it was too hilarious, but
yeah, I know.
We all had a little chuckle. It's nice to see the boss get it sometimes.
Also, kind of messed up, getting jumped from behind, His back turn and stuff. What was the caller? The guy from Virginia? He had a list or something. What was that?
Okay, tune in and I'll give that out a little bit later.
All right, Shadow. Thanks
All right, brother. Keep tuning in.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Okay, we got John in Montclair. Step up to the plate, John.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Shadow Man.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? Mr. Perfect.
Mr.
I think he should stay with WWF because that would be like the only thing for Hunter Helmsley to work with because Hunter Helmsley's weak right now.
Well, I don't think Perfect is gonna be too happy staying with the WWF at this point in time. Because of personal matters and stuff like that. At least that's what's rumors. But so you could see, like Mr. Katz said, you could see Perfect moving on into WCW next year.
Is Mr. Katz still on the line?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Katz. I think that you should try to negotiate with WWF for a pay-per-view event because that would make some big money for people.
I'll be honest with you, it's never going to happen. I don't think you'll ever get Eric, and frankly, even if you went above Eric's head and went to Ted Turner or Harvey Schiller, you're never going to get him in a room with Vince McMahon. There's a lot of animosity there. The pay-per-view logistics to be worked out, the arena logistics to be worked out, the concessions, the merchandising. It's a mess right now as one organization to work it out. As two, with the egos involved, it's just, and I'd like to see it too as a fan, but I just don't see it happening.
And let me give my take on that too, brother. I worked on that World Wrestling Peace Festival, and you got so many egos that are way beyond the scope of understanding that, I would never, ever work on any event like that again in my entire life. And as much as I love the Peace Festival was successful as far as the matches and everything, but putting you had 3 promotions there at the same time, and putting all that stuff together, man, it was crazy.
It's a migraine waiting to happen.
It is.
About Bret Hart, that was McMahon, bet the farm on him.
Yeah, absolutely he did.
Mr. Katz, are you just jealous that you didn't get him?
No, not to the extent. You would think, yeah, but the point is that Bret Hart is, the guy's been in this sport for a long, long time. I mean, you look back at some old WrestleMania. Wait, WrestleMania 2 he's on.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd love to have him simply because he's still marketable. Are you kidding? Yeah, of course you want him. But it was not the major league loss I think a lot of people perceived it as for WCW. According to what Eric's told me, he said the negotiations were really pleasant. Bret's a class guy. But the key here is that he is not, in terms of his age, and God knows at this age he's still got working ability that a lot of guys would love to have, as detrimental. If he had been younger, if it were a Michaels-type deal, then yeah, maybe, because Shawn's really still has his future ahead of him. But like Brett's even said, there comes a point where your memories become more important than your dreams. I think he's at that point right now.
Hey, John, got a flow.
Yeah, okay.
Keep
See ya.
tuning in. Peace. Jeff, you can stick around a little while longer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay, hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is the second hour at Squared Circle to talk on professional wrestling. We got as a guest